Good afternoon. What I'm going to talk about today is the SAS demonstration in a training area back in Hereford. That's where we did a lot of training, and I want to talk you through some of it and some of the fun pieces that go with it. Before that, I'm going to quickly skip through today. We've seen it all before. My book, Go, Go, Go. Jamie Bell on the front. He plays Rusty Firmin in the film 6 Days. And of course, that was the inspiration for that particular film. The regiment, 15 years in the SAS. It's me in the middle. And of course, that's up until I left the regiment in 1992. They're on my website, and I'll show you that in a minute. Behind me, up there, is the resolution print. Again, on the website. Me in the centre, leading the guys in on the resolution, as the print is called, back on May the 5th, 1980. That is doing particularly well in sales, so thank you. I'll leave that there. We'll move on now to my website, www.rusty-firmin.org/shop. That'll take you there. Have a look, have a browse, and I'm generally sending them out 4 or 5 days a week at the moment. So help yourself. Today then, the SAS demonstration at the training area. We've talked about the one in the killing house, but on the same day, one of the demonstrations is in the killing house, and one of them is a number of miles away. So they have one in the afternoon, one in the morning. Same dignitaries, 2 different teams. We've got red and blue team. One team would do the killing house. The other team would be out preparing the outdoor training area for the second part. So they see the killing house, what we can do in there, and they see the hostage scenario type stuff that we can do outside, which is of great interest to them. So the area itself that I'm talking about, it's got an aircraft, an old type aircraft there, which we can practice aircraft drills on. That's been there for 105 years, maybe 104. So that is still there. And we can practice the hostage rescue from the aircraft should anybody ever get trapped or taken hostage in there. They know what to expect. A custom built embassy there as well, which is what I'm going to talk about today. No real one. It's a training area, and it's a training custom built from those years ago, which has an upstairs, a downstairs, a flat roof, and an elevator lift shaft in between. Yes, they've all got stories to tell over the years of training there. So I've mentioned red and blue team. I was always blue team in B Squadron. I did 3 or 4 tours on that as a sniper, two times as an assaulter, and once as a ops sergeant. So I've seen all the 3 different jobs over my time there. So I do know what I'm saying. Of course, keep your comments coming. I'm really interested in them, all of them. But please don't ask me about today's operations and stuff, because what you'll do is you draw a blank. Because I'm talking about me, my time, my mates, and what we did, which was 30, 40 years ago. Don't talk about current ops or anything to do with it. So I'm not being rude when I don't answer them, guys. I keep mentioning it, but that isn't for me. That's for other people to do. So let's just clear that one up. So really the team in the killing house, they would do the afternoon shift, if you like. The team at the training area, which I'm talking about, would do the morning shift. And the reason for that is quite simple. The dignitaries come from far and wide. They're there for the day. They come and see what goes on. They go and get the pink gin at lunchtime, along with the egg and crust sandwiches and stuff. And they can then be in the camp when they finish, where they can be picked up securely and taken back from whence they came. So think about it, because these training areas are probably, let's say, 12, 15 mile apart. So it's a full day for them. And when they go away at the end of the day, yes, there's questions and answers, if time permits, but they haven't wasted the time. Remember, I've mentioned all of them, from the Queen, Mrs. Thatcher, Princess Di, Prince Charles, Princess Anne, and to name quite a few other dignitaries and very senior officers, some not from this country. And we'll leave that one at that. But when they come, they go away knowing that they've had a good day and seen the lads in action. In 1983, when we've all seen the, well, you haven't all seen the picture, but one of the thumbnails with the eyes blacked out, I'm on there right at the bottom of Prince Charles's leg, left leg. I've got a moustache in them days. I'm kneeling down. That's me, for those who are asking. I didn't ask to have my eyes blacked out. What's the point? But you know what? It was too late. And it says a placard there, 1983, and Prince Charles and Princess Diana's on there. So we're going to talk just a bit about that one first of all. Now, when this demonstration takes place, the dignitaries, for safety reasons, are within a distance away from the building to keep them out of trouble. Because you've got helicopters, you've got Range Rovers, you've got guys assaulting the building, they're using flashbangs, they're using ammunition. This is not live ammunition because it's outdoors and there is no backdrop there. So this is one of the only times that we use blank ammunition. However, the flashbangs and stuff are real and everything else is real. So it's the only reason we didn't use live ammunition. It's not because of anybody around, it's because it's not designed for that. It's outdoors and there's farmers around. There's all sorts in the background which you can't even see. So it's safety, but you can still carry out the drills. And the drills are very simple. They're the ones we talked about in the killing house, now adapted to assault in a building, assault in an aircraft. No difference, as we proved in 1980 when we rescued the hostage from the Iranian embassy. So what they do is they rig up the house, or the embassy, should we say, and the reason they rig it up is they need to put some targets in there. We don't know where they are, the guys attacking it, assaulting it. They're going to put some live hostages in there, and they'll put some live terrorists in there. And it's an exercise, okay? Nobody gets killed for real. It's an exercise. So let's get that one cleared up. We are plotting and planning. We've been given a scenario, and it's all to suit the VIPs and dignitaries. If they don't see anything, they're going to go away, Christ, what was that? You have to, explanation, demonstration, imitation, participation, EDIP as they call it in the forces, or did when I was there. Explain everything, demonstrate it, then we imitate it and participate it. Sounds hard. No, it's not hard. It's built in, and the lads understand that. It's a demonstration for high-ranking individuals. However, sometimes it's fun. And now we're going to go on to what actually happened. Okay, you can imagine we've got an embassy building. We've got a helicopter with guys who are going to fast rope onto the roof. And for those who don't know what fast rope is, you'll find out. You throw a rope out the helicopter, the guys are all kitted up, they come down the rope, they land on the roof, and it's quicker than abseiling. Abseiling will be there forever and a day. Fast rope, it's a thick rope. Abseiling is a thin rope, and you've got harnesses and stuff. This is much quicker. Helicopter, down the rope, onto the roof, ready to deploy. This is simultaneously. At the same time, you have to understand that the assault team are in Range Rovers and they've got the big ladders on there. Their job is pre-positioned, pre-planned, which is unusual for us but we have to do it as a demo. At the same time the helicopter comes in, the timing has to be right where the Range Rovers go up to the wall, ladders are already up, guys go up the ladders, flashbangs in the window, dive in the windows, any entrance you can get in, different amount of Range Rovers at the building. I think we used 3 that day as a demonstration. Ours was one of them in the centre. And of course, it wasn't long before we had a volunteer. This is all in my book. And the volunteer was Princess Diana. And she wanted to drive a Range Rover. Oops. Okay, she could drive. When they put her in my Range Rover, we swapped over, we took the driver out, he went into one of the back seats. We give it a quick, this is what you do, take it easy. But the idea was to drive up to the wall, ladders are already up, stop, the guys get up, okay? And that's all you have to do. Handbrake on, I'm there beside her anyway. The guys are ready to go. There's some on the ladder, at the bottom of the ladders and at the top. At the bottom, they don't go up the ladder until it goes into the wall. Helicopters coming in, Range Rovers are going to do that. The assault team are on the Range Rovers, and it's got to be timed as best you can. However, the dignitaries that are looking up, Prince Charles and the entourage and all the senior officers that are around, they're all looking up like this, watching the helicopter. They know what's going on. But surprise number 1, as they were fast roping from about 30 meters, something like that, down onto the roof. Yeah, we pre-planned, and Roy, he was in charge, we pre-planned that we take a dummy with us, dressed in black, heavy, and that's what we did. As we went up there, they're all looking. Princess Diana's in our Range Rover and we're going towards the building. And as they go down, they throw the dummy out and it looks like a real SAS trooper's fallen out the helicopter. Splat onto the top of the building. Ah! Panic. People are looking at each other. We know what's going on. However, just like James Bond, but better. Because it was a flat roof with a little tiny wall around it, where we had a guy already pre-positioned, laying down in all the kit. Up he stands and dusts himself down. Everybody thinks it's great, but it was a dummy. But actually, we carried on the movement. And apparently, I couldn't see it properly, but apparently it looked really good. And the spectators have got the shock horror bit. Fact, that is truth. That's what happened. But at the same time, we're going up to the wall of the building, where we've got the 3 Range Rovers, and I've got some good pictures of these of the day. Up to the wall, ladders out, Princess Diana's in ours, driving nice and slow. Stopped, as told, handbrake. The lads are going up. Flashbangs. You can hear some shooting. Don't forget, this is an assault to rescue would-be hostages and do whatever with the terrorists. So it's a bit of fun for us, but it didn't quite turn out like that, because as we went up, Princess Diana had her window down a little bit, the driving side. We never have it down much more than 2 inches ever. And as they were throwing the flashbangs up, one of the pellets from inside Some of them scream, some of them got gas in and they're hot. Came back off a wall, we think, went through the window and went into a hair. And as I was looking round, I could see it smouldering. It wasn't on fire, it was smouldering. But I realised what had happened. So I started smacking the head out. A couple of the lads jumped on. They could see what was happening. It didn't take long. We didn't beat her up or anything. We were putting the fire, the smoulder out, which we did. Then got her out the Range Rover. She was okay. She wasn't panicking really. Not on the outside, she didn't seem to be. But we got her back to where the rest of the lady in waiting, all the rest of them, where they were watching the demo, they carried on that. The assault carried on. Our dummy is still on the roof. Carry out the exercise. Job done. Rescue the hostages, and everybody is going, oh, well done, you know. But because it's an AM, Princess Diana has time to go back for lunch in the officers' mess. That's what happened in those days. Fun. Yep. Did we achieve anything? Yep. The flashbangs did their job. Yep. Set fire to the hair. Yeah. But all in all, she was up for it. And of course, we had different lots of dignitaries all the time. And once they'd had their lunch, it was over to the killing house for the other side. By the way, we didn't get invited to the mess. No, we just clear up the mess that we've just left. But for us, the demo's over for the day. So what we said is that we have to throw some humour in. Some of them have seen the demos before. The first time we'd used the dummy out of the helicopter, I think for a long, long time. But all in all, they had a great time, lots of talking points, and of course, off they went. Once they'd finished in the killing house, that was them done for the day. We never saw them again. We went back, packed up, and as we say, PUFO, P-U-F-O, we packed up and fucked off. That was all we went there to do, and we achieved it on more than one occasion. So for those who were asking, that is how the day went, an AM and a PM, and fun days, yes. So till next time, who dares wins.